So let's get in that time machine. No, it doesn't have to be a DeLorean. And we're not going back too far. A hop, skip, and a jump to fall of 2020. You know the deal. Somehow, some way, the rad left puppet handlers for Joe Biden, a.k.a. Sleepy Joe, a.k.a. Brandon, a.k.a. the big guy, found a way to corrupt an election and weasel Joe into the office, the Oval Office, as the 44th President of the United States of America. And amongst the deficiencies Joe had, of course, was his rapidly declining physical and cognitive state. And perhaps of all the crimes that the Biden crime family syndicate committed while Joe was vice president, and things really got active while he was president, maybe the most disgusting sin of all was elder abuse by none other than FLOTUS 44, Dr. Joe Biden. You might ask, what is elder abuse? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Elder abuse is a broad term encompassing any form of mistreatment of older adults, including physical, emotional, or financial abuse, neglect, and exploitation. It can have devastating consequences impacting physical and mental health, social relationships, and financial stability. Second question you might be asking, or at least I was asking myself in preparing this video for you here on the Red Dawn Media channel, is elder abuse a crime? And of course, well, I've got an answer. Let me share it with you. The federal government, states, commonwealths, territories, and District of Columbia all have laws designed to protect older adults from elder abuse. The District of Columbia. Of course, that's where America's house is located, the White House at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Now, Dr. Jill, guilty as sin, covered up time and time again. And on Thursday at the White House during the press briefing, Caroline Levitt, the press secretary for POTUS 47, Donald J. Trump, was asked by one of the real reporters amongst the White House reporter pool, and that's Peter Doocy of Fox News, the following question. Take a look and listen.
There are some folks in President Biden's inner circle who are now in talks with Republicans in Congress to give interviews about how they may have handled President Biden's decline. Is the president satisfied with aides only sitting for these transcribed interviews, or would he also like to see some kind of testimony from the former First Lady, Dr. Biden?
I think, frankly, the former First Lady should certainly speak up about what she saw in regards to her husband and when she saw it and what she knew, because I think anybody looking, again, at the videos and photo evidence of Joe Biden with your own eyes and a little bit of common sense can see this was a clear cover-up. And Jill Biden was certainly complicit in that cover-up. There's documentation, video evidence of her clearly shielding her husband away from the cameras. They were just on The View last week. She was saying everything is fine. She's still lying to the American people. She still thinks the American public are so stupid that they're going to believe her lies. And frankly, it's insulting, and she needs to answer for it.
And there you have it from Caroline Levitt. What a breath of fresh air. Seeing a high IQ'd person in that role compared to the two nincompoops that served in that role during the tenure from Biden as POTUS 44. Now, a word she used is one that explains everything so well when it comes to Jill Biden and the situation around Joe Biden that I'm speaking about and that she just touched on with the question from Peter Doocy, and that's complicit. Absolutely. Hits the nail on the head. She talked about her recently going with Biden on The View. Well, I've got the video. Let's take a look and listen to Dr. Jill and Sleepy Joe with the folks from The View as she again covered up the situation and just told an outright lie, like Caroline Levitt said. They think the American people are stupid, spewing out the same garbage.
Your husband's fiercest advocate and a close advisor, and it's been reported that you created a sort of cocoon around him and kind of limited his interactions with the media and others. Do you think you could have been too close to the situation to objectively gauge whether he could handle a full 4 more years?
I was with Joe day and night. I saw him more than any other person. I woke up with him. I went to bed at night with him. So I saw him all throughout the day, and I did not create a cocoon around him. I mean, you saw him in the Oval Office. You saw him making speeches. He wasn't hiding somewhere. I didn't have him, sequestered in some place. I mean, that's
Wish she had.
Was that hurtful to you when they were describing you as Lady Macbeth and all
Yes,
of those?
it was very hurtful. It was very hurtful, especially from some of our so-called friends.
Yeah.
And there you have it from Dr. Jill Biden, FLOTUS 44, and Joe Biden, who at the start of this interview was incredibly creepy. It was a reminder of just how creepy Sleepy Joe is. You kind of forget. It's been a third of a year, thank goodness, since he's been president. And you're like, man, they were trying to shove this guy back into the rotation for another 4 years. Unbelievable. Well, the headlines pretty much tell the story. This one's not going away anytime soon. Look at the headlines from all sources of media. Now, Dr. Jill and all of Sleepy Joe's puppet masters, they can try to run, they can try to hide. But it reminds me of a quote from the great movie Gladiator. As I wrap this one up, remember what Maximus said. What you do in life echoes in eternity. Crimes committed by those puppet masters and the Biden crime family syndicate are being exposed, and they will live in the annals of history forever. And they'll continue to poke and peck away and destroy his legacy, a tainted one always. As President of the United States, Biden, POTUS 44.